container terminal with world-class infrastructure, strategic location, has shown consistent growth over the years, maintains the highest standard of quality, safety and environment protection, emerging transshipment hub, ideal gateway for East Coast of India.
So that is Visakhapatnam. I mentioned quality, safety and environment. We maintain ISO standards here. ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 28000 and British standard of 18001 as well. These standards are for these quality, safety and environment protection and security management systems as well. And we give most highest priority for these aspects for any standards.
It's natural draft, 297 meters. This is again Maersk. Another one coming up is also Maersk, CN80.
This is the key crane, RMQC, rail mounted key crane. So this key crane has a spreader. There's an operator here. He moves on this beam, front and back. Okay. So he comes forward, he catches the container with a spreader, he picks the container, he comes back till here, where there is a trailer waiting for him beneath. So he downs the spreader and places that container onto the trailer. And this trailer takes the container to the yard, and again it's picked up using a spreader by an RPG to place it onto the yard.
Maersk again CHX called as Chennai Express. Average handling time or the turnaround time would be about 18 hours to 19 hours because of its bay numbers which are beautifully designed. The way we have the bay numbers, even the vessels, we also have bay numbers below deck, above deck. So we know what container needs to be placed at what position. And similarly, that really helps us out. So the container is, before the vessel arrives, we plan already what containers to be placed in which bay. So the moment it arrives, all the trailers, reach trackers, everything, all the infrastructure what we have will be prepared, and the containers will be placed immediately. So it's about 18 to 19 hours max. It will go about 24 hours for the bigger vessels. Like the smaller vessels will take about 14-15 hours.
IEC code. And then for exports, you will have to build up shipping bills, where you give all the information on what cargo, what is the weight of the cargo, what is the value of the cargo, and this has to be undersigned by the customs officer, which we call it as LEO, Let Export Order. And there's another documentation called Import General Manifest. It's called IGM.
That's what Harsha does here actually. Accept the data, day by day.
Learning, knowledge, right? Very important. Which I never heard about, when I was at the school. So any
IB.
Yeah.
Could you please explain about out-of-gauge container once again?
Out-of-gauge containers are any we have different industries like steel plants per se. What does a steel plant do? Manufactures steel, and how would it look like? General opinion. For say steel bars. Yeah. Have you seen a steel bar? How much does what would be the length around this steel? Yeah. So how can that be exported? Where would you put that in a container? You can't fit that into a container, right? Or for say any plant and machinery equipment, which is huge in size. Big industries have huge equipment, right? So they cannot be fit into a container. So what we use is, we have a different category of containers called platform or flat track containers, which have
containers and the loadability in each container.
Loadability, as in the major constraints we look at here is the weight.
This general and this sort of.
That is the packaging facility. It's usually depending upon the nature of the cargo, the packaging is done. Yeah. So it is packed in kind of bales.
What are the types of cargoes being handled from here? They're going outward and inward. And in this, what type of packing is followed? And what are the dimensions and the capacities being loaded into these containers? What are the various types of containers, like reefer, like airborne?
Mentioned that already. So general container, it's usually a 20-foot container or a 40-foot, or nowadays even 45-foot containers are coming up. So these 40-foot container or 20-foot container, we restrict the weight to 30 metric tons. Maximum weight we restrict the cargo. And these cargos can be, they're packaged in various formats, as in bales, palletized, bags, and even for the bags there are different kind of packaging, 50 kg bag, 100 kg bag, 1 ton bags, different kind of bags. And these bags are again used with polyester or jute bags or different categories of bags. The entire packaging comes under the container freight station's subject, because this stuffing and de-stuffing is usually handled at the CFS. Okay, and the dimensions of a container, foot. Those are the different categories of containers. And these containers, again, there are, even for handling the cargo, there is something called classes of cargo. Okay, in terms of dangerous goods, IMDG. We call them hazardous cargoes. There are 9 classes of cargoes, and we don't handle 2 classes of cargoes, which are explosives and radioactive substances. Okay, so these 2 substances, because they are very hyperactive, and then which might cause any kind of accidents, disastrous things. So we are not usually supporting that kind of cargo. Other than that, any cargo is handled here. There is multi-tier stuffing as well. Cars, they use wooden pallets and a different kind of structure to stuff cars into the container.
Okay, now that you covered, you just also covered RO.
Yes,
roll and roll up.
RO is different.
Exclusively for
RO is completely a different vessel.
Yes.
This stuffing of cars into a container is again a container vessel only. RO is something where the vessel
itself is designed
for where
cars.
it's simple. This is a Lolo, which is lift on and lift off. What is a RO? Roll on and roll off. So any vehicles, automobiles, they just simply, they have a huge stand which comes and podium kind of thing, which is down on your key, and then you can just drive onto the vessel. Big lashing team here, which is outsourced here, one of the best, because lashing containers is not so easy, as it the word doesn't say it all. Because these lashing the containers, we use
mooring
bars.
Moor
Heavy bar. Mooring is different. Mooring is a mooring gang. What a mooring gang does is they tie the vessel onto the key. We have something called bollard. A bollard is nothing but
software managed.
Already we have done something like E-Form 13. Form 13 is kind of a documentation which is required to have any transaction with the container terminal. So this Form 13 is now available on website. So it's easier for any exporter or importer to download simply and to fill it online and then submit it easily. They don't have to come here manually.
Hard copies have been rolled out.
We are saving a lot of paper on that version.
Last thing, can you also cover DW, sir?
Deadweight tonnage. How do you measure a vessel?
I don't know.
They don't know. So there are something called deadweight tonnage, gross register tonnage, and net register tonnage, including all the other equipment or machinery which is available on the vessel. When all these equipment and machinery which is included, then you call it as GRT. It's a mixture of everything which is on the vessel. Okay, the key cranes or the cranes which are there are something called cranes on the vessel as well. Some vessels also have cranes. So grabs, different category of cranes. Just the weight of the vessel, excluding all the other amenities.
Including cargo and
Everything, yeah. But usually at the container terminal, we only look at the number of TEUs it can handle. We are not considered about the deadweight tonnage, being a business development guy. As an operations, it is important whether it can be handled here at the berth or not. But in terms of business, we only look at the number of TEUs it can handle, a vessel. How many TEUs
More of the
it can
vessel
handle.
operators.
Correct. But going back to bulk and break bulk, you'll be looking at more of DWT, deadweight tonnage.
This is traded at the bottom of the ship.
Yeah. It's not bottom exactly, it's on the sides. Okay, it's on the sides. These are tanks which is filled with water. Okay, these ballast tanks are usually used for balancing your vessel, buoyancy, like I said, buoyancy. And we also have something called limit range, okay, load limit line. What is this load limit? Load limit is given, it's a measure which gives you a warning that you should never exceed any cargo more than that. That load limit is usually, and we have a fan, propeller you should say. Okay, this rudder is used for changing the direction of the vessel, the course of the vessel. This front part of the vessel is called a bow, B-O-W, bow, and the after part is called a stern, S-T-E-R-N, stern. And when you're standing at the stern and looking towards the bow, the vessel on your left side is called starboard. When a vessel is coming, it's come till the gate. Okay, how would a vessel know that there is a port here? There's no direction, there's no light, it's not like a road. Okay, and the water is everywhere. You can never know where you'll have to stop, where you'll have to go, the directions. Today the technology has increased, we have GPS systems, so maybe a little understanding about it. But in earlier days, that is a major reason we use lighthouses. This lighthouse says that there is a port here, you can stop your vessel, handle it, it can be kept at bay here. And after it comes to the lighthouse, there is a facility called pilot gang. What does this pilot gang does? They have lights. Okay, we have pilot lights, pilotage lights, beacon lamps, which we call. These beacon lamps give them the route where it has to come through, the gate. Okay, and then we have reverse direction. If it comes this way, we don't park it like this. We reverse the vessel and then push it onto the berth. So you should be ready for it to exit easily. Because in case, most of them, because in case of any accident, just in case of any accident, you cannot turn the vessel at that time, right? So the vessel should be always ready to exit. That is a minimum standard which we maintain. And coming to the vessel, the length of the vessel is calculated according to the measure is called.
Thing is, when a customer is entering into VCTPL, what key parameters he looks at?
As
a customer, I want to book my cargo here.
So basically, you don't
like thermal handling charges.
Correct. So
what are the key parameters?
None of you has asked, like your professor has asked me today. How can I generate money out of this? Shipping in this, at the end of the day, business is money. How am I generating money out of this facility? Nobody asked me. Then how can you
Is this port economical to come in and to give business to this port, or they should go to another port? So what are the important parameters which they look at? A customer who looks at. That's what I'm asking him.
For a vessel to come here, for say if it's coming from Colombo or from Singapore to Visakhapatnam, there is some freight called ocean freight. Okay, this is called ocean freight. That is the rate for a vessel to come here. And then at the terminal, we supply chain of the entire international trade, which plays a major role today. And there are a number of ports coming up today, which are already existing. So what we are learning today is just a small piece of it. To understand the entire international trade, I believe you are better to tell me about how.
Okay, next. You see, there are so many ports are coming up in this coast. What will be your USP?
We're already established.
Best.
My customers already love me, they don't go. Because they have seen my service already. The moment you're used to one particular service, traditionally that's how Indians go, or rather any customer would go. The moment you're traditionally attached to someone, you will continue doing it because of the services. Or, when cost plays a factor, yeah, of course, there will be few of them moving out, but still technically majority of them will still continue with me. Because I've already given them the service, I know what their requirement is. So that will continue.
Yes.
You don't have any questions?
I can go with what he says. In the future, since you have Krishnapatnam Port, Gangavaram Port, Kakinada, and VCTPL and VPD. In the future, maybe we will be specializing the commodity wise, and each particular container terminal or the port which is asking for certain kind of industry specific, so that you are not fighting for cargo. At the end of the day.
In fact, there is a project called Sagarmala project which is coming up with the government's initiative. So that will make you clear understand. Please go through it. So
I just have to mention over here because I've seen, I personally have seen VCTPL without any buildings, just the thing. And 2099, 2000, there's no one to come from the industry to talk about the containers. Couple of captains, Captain Vijay Gopal, Captain Ankit and all for Seaways and APL and Maersk. And I personally have seen, we GSIB have seen VCTPL growing strength to strength from 2000 and 2001 onwards, whenever they have decided to function. And it's very great to see, and the way they are accommodating every year. And I've seen a couple of Australians have come over here and settled down themselves to initially to establish VCTPL. From those days I've seen, and I've seen the way you have grown, and when I saw the extension plans, it's beautiful. We congratulate VCTPL, and we also have appreciated every time the way it has hospitality as well as accommodating and information. Thank you.
What is available in international level ports which is not available here?
Nothing.
Yes, I will tell you. I'll tell you. You lack scanner. You lack a scanner, container scanner on the, when vessel is, when a truck is carrying a container, other ports within India, they have a scanner which scans the entire cargo and they allow it immediately.
So
This increases, yeah.
But that's a great.
No, what is
The
this?
scanner will cost about 1 crore. So at this given point of time, where there's huge competition coming, I don't know if we should introduce it. Where in the future, when you have more cargo, yeah, definitely a scanner is required in terms of ISO standard, as you rightly mentioned. SMS security,
It's also a very good observation. So please come up with a proposal. The advantages and disadvantages. We would like to take it up with the.
No, this is the most talked about point. Whenever any export are happening, they are saying that in Visakhapatnam,
But then
such a big port.
we have some facilities like RTT. We call it an RTT, which is manually enters it, and then it is again converted.